Your doctor said, watch your diet, but nobody told you which foods are quietly destroying your kidneys right now. And the most dangerous ones are probably sitting in your kitchen, labeled as healthy. I'm Dr. Tahir. I'm a nephrologist, a kidney specialist, and in 20 years of practice, I have watched people do everything right and still end up facing dialysis, not because they were careless, because the rules change after 60, and no one tells you. Today, I'm going to tell you the 4 foods that are most likely to accelerate kidney damage in adults over 60, and exactly what to replace them with. Stay until the end, because the 7th step I give you could be the most important thing you bring to your next doctor's appointment. Drop a comment right now, your age, and whether you've had your kidney function tested in the last year. I read every one. The story that changed how I practice. Let me tell you about Margaret. She was 73. Retired nurse from Michigan, the kind of person who knew more about health than most of my colleagues. When her blood work flagged a low eGFR, that's the test that measures how well your kidneys are actually filtering, she didn't panic. She researched. She switched to whole wheat bread, added bananas and avocados every day because she'd read they were good for blood pressure. She started having canned tomato soup for lunch. She drank sports drinks on her morning walks. 6 months later, her kidney function had dropped by an entire disease stage. When she handed me her food diary, I looked through every entry and said, "Margaret, everything on this list looks healthy." That's exactly the problem. She had done everything right for someone with normal kidneys, but her kidneys weren't normal anymore, and no one had updated her rule book. Why the rules change after 60. Here's what most people don't find out until it's personally relevant. After age 40, kidney function declines at roughly 1% per year. By your 70s, you may have already lost 25 to 30% of your kidney capacity with 0 symptoms. No pain, no swelling, just a number on a lab report quietly moving in the wrong direction. That decline changes how your body handles 4 specific things from food. Phosphorus. Your kidneys filter phosphorus from your blood. As function drops, it accumulates, a condition linked directly to faster kidney deterioration and heart disease. The most dangerous form isn't natural phosphorus, it's the inorganic phosphorus added to processed foods as a preservative. Your body absorbs it at nearly 100%. It doesn't appear on any nutrition label. Healthy potassium. Healthy kidneys keep potassium in a tight, safe range. Compromised kidneys can't clear the excess, and it builds up to levels that trigger dangerous heart arrhythmias. The cruelest irony, the foods most marketed for heart health in seniors, bananas, avocados, and oranges, are among the highest potassium foods you can eat. Protein. High-protein meals force your kidneys to dramatically increase their filtration rate. In already stressed kidneys, this repeated demand accelerates breakdown of the filtering units. This matters enormously if you've been told to eat more protein for muscle mass, because that advice changes once your eGFR drops below 60. Sodium. As kidney function falls, the ability to remove excess sodium falls with it. Fluid is retained, blood pressure rises, and elevated blood pressure causes further kidney damage, a self-reinforcing cycle that starts in your kitchen. 4 real patients, 4 warnings. Frank was 68, still strong, very health conscious. His doctor correctly told him to prioritize protein for muscle preservation, so Frank went all in. Protein shakes, chicken at every meal, protein bars for snacks. What nobody had connected, his eGFR had been sitting at 54 for 2 years, enough compromise that the standard protein recommendation no longer applied to him the same way. In 14 months, Frank dropped a full stage of kidney disease while following medically accurate advice designed for a different patient. How was I supposed to know the rules were different, he asked me. He wasn't. That's why I'm here. Helen was 74. After her husband's heart attack, she threw herself into cardiovascular health, avocado daily, potassium supplements, spinach in everything. Her stage 3B kidney disease was in her chart, but in a 15-minute appointment focused on blood pressure and cholesterol, the dietary implications never came up. She woke one morning with her heart racing. Her potassium level in the ER was 6.4, nearly twice the upper limit of safe range. Her heart rhythm was being affected. "I was trying to protect my heart," she told me. "I didn't know I was hurting my kidneys." James was nearly 79. During cancer treatment, his care team rightly focused on keeping calories in him, relied on canned soups and packaged foods. Nobody flagged his eGFR was 48. When treatment ended, it had fallen to 29, stage 4. The phosphate additives, the sodium, 800 to 1200 milligrams in a single bowl of soup, which is nearly half a kidney patient's entire daily budget, compounded over months. Nobody connected those dots in time. Sandra was 65, newly diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. Her nutritionist built her a detailed, evidence-based meal plan: whole grains, potassium-rich vegetables, lean protein, exactly right for a healthy diabetic. The problem, her eGFR was 55, and the nutritionist wasn't aware of it. 3 foods on that plan were ones I would have told Sandra to significantly limit. Not bad medicine, just the challenge of managing multiple conditions when specialists don't always communicate. The 4 foods. Food 1. Processed and deli meats, turkey, ham, salami, packaged sausage, hot dogs, anything cured or preserved. A single 2-ounce serving can carry up to 500 to 600 milligrams of sodium. And the phosphate preservatives, look for anything with phos in the ingredient list, are absorbed at nearly 100% by your body. The National Kidney Foundation has specifically flagged phosphate additives as one of the most significant and overlooked hazards for people with kidney disease. Every time you eat processed meat, you are delivering a concentrated phosphorus dose to kidneys already struggling to clear it. Food 2. High potassium fruits. And this is the one that surprises people most. I'm not saying fruit is bad. I'm saying that for anyone with an eGFR below 60, bananas, oranges, kiwi, and avocado deliver potassium loads a compromised kidney cannot adequately clear. The fix is simple. Shift to apples, blueberries, grapes, and strawberries. Significantly lower in potassium, entirely kidney-friendly. You don't stop eating fruit. You change which fruit. Food 3. Whole grain bread and bran-based products. I know how wrong this sounds. Whole grains have been a health cornerstone for decades. For people with healthy kidneys, that's well supported. But whole wheat and bran are high in phosphorus in a form that's more bioavailable than most people realize. The National Kidney Foundation's dietary guidelines explicitly identify whole grain products as a category to limit in kidney disease. This is the most common surprise in my practice. The counterintuitive truth: when kidney function is compromised, white bread and white rice are actually the safer choice. Food 4. Canned and packaged soups and instant meals. A standard can of soup delivers 800 to 1200 milligrams of sodium per serving. For a kidney patient whose daily limit is 1500 to 2000 milligrams total, one bowl consumes half the budget before you've eaten anything else, and that's before you account for the phosphate additives. The fix is homemade soups using low-sodium broth or canned options specifically labeled under 140 milligrams per serving. 7 steps to take this week. 1. At your next appointment, ask specifically for an eGFR test, not just creatinine. Write this down. I'd like to check my eGFR. That's all you need to say. 2. If your eGFR is below 60, ask for a referral to a renal dietitian, not a general nutritionist. A renal dietitian is specifically trained in kidney nutrition and will build a plan around your actual numbers. 3. Start reading labels for phosphate additives. Any ingredient with phos in the name, sodium phosphate, disodium phosphate, phosphoric acid, is inorganic phosphorus. Limit or avoid those products. 4. Swap high potassium fruits for lower potassium fruits. Banana becomes an apple. Orange becomes blueberries. Avocado becomes a small drizzle of olive oil for your healthy fat. 5. Move from canned to fresh or frozen vegetables with no added salt. If you use canned, drain and rinse. It removes up to 40% of the sodium. 6. Ask your pharmacist to review your supplements.
Many standard multivitamins contain phosphorus and potassium at levels that are fine for healthy adults, but problematic for compromised kidneys. 7. Bring a 1-week food diary to your next appointment. Not an app. A piece of paper works perfectly. It gives your doctor a realistic picture of your actual diet and makes that 15-minute appointment dramatically more productive. This single step has changed outcomes for more of my patients than almost anything else. I want to come back to where I started. My mother is 76. She felt perfectly fine at 68. She was eating bananas every morning for blood pressure, whole wheat bread because her doctor had recommended it for her heart, canned soup for lunch because it was easy and low in fat. She wasn't being careless. She was being thoughtful with the information she had. When her doctor ran her numbers and called me, her eGFR was 44. I'm a kidney doctor. I know exactly what these foods do, and my own mother was eating several of them every day, believing she was protecting her health.
Her function stabilized. She is still cooking her own meals, still walking every morning. But I think about that number, 44, and what it would have become if we'd found it a year later. I made this video because I cannot be in every exam room when a doctor says, "Watch your diet," without saying what that means. Leave a comment with one of 3 things: getting my eGFR checked, making changes today, or sharing this with someone I love. Then share this with someone over 60 in your life. That share is an act of care. If this gave you something real to bring to your next appointment, subscribe. This is what I do here. I'm Dr. Tahir. Take care of your kidneys. Take care of the people you love.